Hello, pretty people. Welcome to Simply Delish Duo. Today in BB's kitchen, we're going to show you how to make this delicious and spongy chocolate sponge cake. Now, what we love about this recipe, it's not complicated. So easy to make using simple ingredients that you probably have on hand.
Now, I know most of you guys are wondering, oh my gosh, they made a cake and didn't decorate it. But there's a reason for this, because we wanted to let you know that this cake, the sky is the limit. You could do so many different things with this recipe. You could make a jelly roll, a cream roll, black forest cake,
Even a base of a fruit tart.
exactly.
So many things. So if you're new to our channel, check out our other videos and don't forget to subscribe. All right, let's run down the list of the ingredients we will need to make your chocolate sponge cake. 4 large eggs sitting at room temperature, and it's important that they're sitting at room temperature, and I'll get to that in a second here, why it's so important. Half a cup of flour, 3/4 cups of white sugar, granulated sugar, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, and a teaspoon of vanilla. So guys, when I said it calls for simple ingredients, we weren't lying here. This is all you need. Very basic ingredients. So first things first, the eggs. So like I mentioned, they have to sit at room temperature. It's very important because if you're using cold eggs, the yolk and the egg white won't loosen up, which won't produce a nice fluffy egg. So make sure it's at room temperature. And if your eggs aren't at room temperature and you don't have time, stick them in a bowl of warm water, 4 or 5 minutes, that'll do the trick. So to your 4 eggs, add your sugar. And that's it, you guys. So now you can use your stand mixer if you want. I'm going to use a hand mixer here and whip your eggs up for about 8 minutes. And I'm not going to start this because our hand mixer here is quite loud here. So I'm going to start whipping up the eggs. And BB, if you don't mind sifting, make sure you need to sift your flour and cocoa powder. And I like to do it together, and I like to sift it in twice. This way there's no globs or bubbles or peaks or whatever. Yeah, so make sure you sift
I'll
them.
take these over, I'll sift and you beat them.
Sounds good. Okay, we are done, you guys. So I don't know if you can see this. Our egg mixture is nice and silky with that sugar. And you know it's done when you can form the number 8. If you can't form that number 8, it's still loose, keep on whipping. So let me just give this a tap here.
I'm gonna move this over for you, okay?
All right. So now we are done with the mixer. Now we're going to fold in the remaining ingredients.
Let me come to this side of you because I just like this side better.
Do you like that side better? And I'm the other way around. I like that. So a teaspoon of vanilla. And we've said, BB has sifted this twice.
Yeah, I did twice.
So we're going to add in our flour. And let's get every bit in there. And now we are going to fold in, gently fold in your flour and cocoa mixture. You don't want to beat it because then all that, it'll deflate. And you want it nice and airy. Like I've mentioned many times already, sponge cake is an airy dessert, an airy cake. So you just want to keep doing this until you cannot find, until you don't see any more of the flour. So do not overmix, like I said, but make sure everything's incorporated. All right, so I am done folding, and you will notice no more flour. So, BB, let's talk about the pan. We're using a 10-inch cake pan, and we've lined it with parchment paper. And a little trick to get the sides to stick to the parchment paper, we've added a little bit of butter. This way it's easy cleanup. You know, your cake isn't sticking to your pan.
If I hold the bowl, did you wanna?
It doesn't matter, or I can hold the bowl.
I'll hold the bowl.
Okay.
You go ahead.
All right. So now we're just going to pour in your batter in your cake pan here. And we've got the oven set at 350, and you want to cook your cake for about 20-25 minutes, depending on your oven. And what you do is after the 20-minute mark, just insert a toothpick into your cake. And if it comes out clean, your cake is done. And if not, just give it a few more minutes here. So I think we've got most of it. And if you want, we can set this down. If you want to make a cream roll, like we've mentioned at the beginning, use a cookie sheet and spread your batter nice and level onto the cookie sheet, about an inch, maybe half an inch thick. So now
I personally like the cream or jelly rolls like that. They're so good.
They're so good, but so many this is so versatile. So many recipes that you can make with this batter here, with this recipe. So now our oven's already beaded. It's beeped. It's heated, and yeah, so I'm going to place this in the oven, and we'll be back to show you what it looks like once it's done cooking.
Something that Chica actually forgot to mention about the cake, once you do place it in the oven, make sure you place it on your middle rack, right in the center of the middle rack. And an important thing is also, do not open that oven door,
or else you will deflate that cake, and you don't want a pancake. You want a delicious sponge cake. Okay, we pulled our cake out of the oven, and it's nice and spongy. So now I'll take it off, and we let it sit for about 15 minutes, although I think we should let it sit longer before we cut into it because it tends to fall apart. But we want to show you here.
Because we're doing this video. And you know, the thing with the sponge cake, it's not as moist as your other cakes because it has no oil in there. It doesn't have Crisco or butter or any vegetable oil, any oil. So Chica's just gonna cut into it. And also, I would also like to add that with this cake, you could add raspberry preserves and some whipped cream, anything in there. Icing in the middle, you could do anything with this cake. But you know what?
Amaretto liqueur is really good.
Oh my gosh,
and it
yes.
soaks in nicely.
Yeah. And amaretto liqueur is perfect. But you know what? Today we're gonna go easy peasy. I like it simple. We both like it simple. We're just gonna dust some icing sugar. We call it icing sugar up here. I know it's powdered sugar. Oh wow! I'm gonna bring it up to the. Look how nice.
Look at all the bubbles. Sorry, I just quickly cut in. Like I said, it's still warm, but look at that, guys.
Nice and airy.
Airy. It just bounces back. Such a great dessert to have.
It is.
And so many things that you can make with this dessert.
Yeah, so like I said, we're just going to sprinkle some icing sugar, easy peasy, dessert. And actually, you know what? I might have this for breakfast too tomorrow.
Oh, why not?
Exactly.
Cake for breakfast? Why not? So we hope you like our recipe to our chocolate sponge cake. Thank you for watching Simply Delish Duo.